USDA has announced $100 million in additional payments under the Pandemic Market Volatility Assistance Program. It aims to aid medium-sized and larger producers who missed out on payments during the first round of assistance in 2021. Alan Bjerga with the National Milk Producers Federation joined us now with an update. Alan, good to see you again. What does this funding mean for the dairy industry?
Well, what it means is that an unfortunate after effect of federal policy that cost dairy farmers more than $700 million has been taking another step to being rectified. Now, for a little bit of background, during the COVID pandemic, the federal food box programs that were taking place, combined with some really strange things happening in dairy price markets, led to a loss of farmers from revenues that they otherwise would have had under a milk pricing program. About half of that was taken care of in legislation that was passed in 2021. It was capped at a production amount at about 200 cows per dairy farm, which covers a lot of your smaller producers, but it wasn't an equitable solution for all of dairy. So we've continued fighting along with advocates on Capitol Hill, and USDA has just announced that another $100 million are going to be available, and that's to cover more up towards, say, the first 750 cows or so in someone's herd. Now, does that cover everyone fully? No, it does not, and we're going to keep continuing to work on that. But this covers a lot more farmers. It helps them deal with what was a very difficult time for farmer bottom lines, and we hope that this assistance is going to be useful for producers going forward.
All right, yeah, that's good news to hear there. Now, switching gears from weather woes to market hurdles, there's a number of stresses facing farmers. Let's talk about what's going on as far as our farmers and ranchers' mental health.
Well, one of the things that we always pay attention for as an organization representing farmers is the well-being of all farmers. And there's financial bottom lines, like we were just talking about with this $100 million of assistance. There's also making sure that farmers are connected to the resources they need when they're dealing with financial and other stresses of their own. I mean, take a look at the weather in California. Take a look at some of the wet winter weather we've had in parts of the Midwest. It's a tough time of year for farmers, and it's always a challenge to be a farmer out in a rural area where maybe you don't always have access to some of the mental health and counseling services we need. We do a regular podcast called Dairy Defined, and the most recent one is on our website at NMPF.org, talking about a Wisconsin dairy farmer named Randy Roker and his work with what's called the Farmer Angel Network, which assists farmers in need in that area. You know, this is part of a growing area of concern within agriculture, one that for a lot of reasons hasn't been talked about. But we're talking about it because we want to do good, and when farmers do well, that's another way that agriculture can thrive.
All right, yeah, we want our farmers to be well, to be healthy, both physically and mentally. And, of course, you can go to nmpf.org. Alan Bjerga, thank you so much for being with us today. Always good to visit with you with the National Milk Producers Federation.